Hello and welcome. My name is Brett Delaney, and I am one of 20 members from around the United States that are part of the Dove Self-Esteem National Cadre. What we are doing is promoting the Confident Me program that is put up forth by Dove. I will get into more information about the program in just a little bit. I just wanted to say thank you for reaching out, and I look forward to sharing this information. What I'm going to do is I'm going to present information about the program, kind of an overview of it. After watching this video and going through the information, if you have any other questions, don't understand anything, please reach out. I'm here to help. I'm here to talk about ways that I've implemented in my classroom, ways that I've heard of it implemented, and just to give you an opportunity to use it in yours in the best setting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of go through what I would do in a normal presentation, but I'm going to do it in an abbreviated version. That way it will give you time to find out how best to use it in your setting. So like I said, my name is Brett Delaney. I actually teach in the Ankeny School District in Ankeny, Iowa. I teach 8th and 9th grade PE and health. One reason why I got involved in this program is because I am a male. A lot of times when people hear this Dove Self-Esteem Project, they think, oh, it's only females. It's only going to be able to help them. And to be honest, actually, a lot of my males have got the most out of this from class discussion and different things like that. It is geared towards that 11 to 14-year-olds. However, I teach 9th grade health, and we use it in our curriculum there. We just adapt it and make it suitable for our age group. It can go all the way down to upper elementary grade to just find ways to make it and hold those discussions and talk about it. So let me get into this just a little bit. What I typically do in a presentation is I think about what are thoughts, images, words that come to mind when I say the word body image. And what our students are saying is this. I just sampled my students, and they're saying skinny, fat, short, tall, people who think they are fat, self-esteem, sometimes negative, sometimes positive, mirrors, and self-esteem. So you can see our students have that image or that thought in their head of what body image already is, and there's many different reasons because of that. So what is body image? During this curriculum, it's going to talk about how a person thinks and feels about their body and the way they look. So then the next question I ask my students and I ask people in presentations is, how do you see low self-esteem, poor body image, and low body confidence impacting your students? And this is how my students answered this question. And this was actually before. Some of these are before and some of these are after. And so my students are saying when people don't think of themselves highly, it can cause them change at school, such as lower grades, tardies. By showing them that they hate themselves so that they have no reason to not like you either. Some people don't notice it much. Others of them have a great understanding of what it is doing to others around them and themselves. So 40 to 70% of adolescent boys and girls experience low body confidence. I see it every single day in my PE and my health classes. Low body confidence is going to result in poor classroom participation, poor psychological and physical health. Okay? It's going to have our students opting out of activities and clubs and things that they might not do. They might not even go to the doctor. Things like that are causes of low or consequences of low body confidence. So what it is Dove is owned by Unilever, and one of their things is they have to have a social outreach, and this is actually separated from the Dove soap. It has no relation to that soap. Sorry, I can't provide you any soap or any deodorant for your kids. But what Dove did is Dove commissioned a scientific literature review of adolescent girls. And I know a lot of it talks about girls, but it's so can incorporate the boys too, which is why I got involved with it. And from that, they found that research revealed 6 key target behaviors that generally improve body confidence. And it's teasing, bullying, talking about appearance, media and celebrities, competing and comparing looks, respecting, looking after yourself, friends, family, and relationship. And all this is evidence-based information, and it's constantly going through change. And you'll find out that the 5 lesson is going to come out here in the next few weeks of a totally updated version of what is currently out there. So if you've heard about it before, even kind of flipped through this before, it's totally gone through an overview or a remake of what was out there just to make sure it's current and is good, the best for our students. So it's a social reach for the personal care Dove brand. Was created to ensure the next generation develops a positive relationship with working. Over the past decade, the Dove Self-Esteem Project has reached 20 million young people. And a lot of this is from the European nations, and we're recently bringing it into the United States, which was how I got involved in it. And what we're doing is to help girls and boys, help them develop a greater body confidence, raise their self-esteem, realize their full potential. So right now, you can go to the selfesteem.dove.us and you can find anything that I'm going to show you here today. And I'll actually include the links in an email that I'm going to send you about this as well. But I wanted to give you a quick overview. So in this, then you would go to teacher resources, and it would lay everything out there for you. This is something where you could walk in day one and teach it right away. It's laid out that nicely, or you could incorporate and move the bits and pieces around. And through that, there is a single lesson that takes all 5 of these components, or there's a 5 lesson. To be honest, I don't think the 1 lesson does it justice because there's so much information. And the 5 lesson is, it sounds like a lot of time, but it's actually, there's so much information in there. And in our setting, in my personal classroom, we could go a lot more than 5 lessons. And sometimes we do just because the discussion happens at my level. So in each session, there are an educator guide. There's slides and PowerPoint that you can use. You can actually download them and make them your own, and you can take bits and pieces of it. We've actually taken chunks out of all 5 of these and put them in the order that works best for our setting. And the kids just really love it, and they really, it allows them great open discussion, especially at that older level, the information that's used in here. There's also student workbooks in there. We didn't use personally a lot of these, just because it didn't fit our setting, but I know a lot of people have used these. And I would ask, if you ever use any of this and you find great reaction from your students, or you find great information, if there's any way that you could send me student work or student responses from these, I would truly, truly appreciate that. We're always looking for examples of students. Obviously, take their name out, make it totally confidential, but I would love to see what students are actually doing to present to my other cadre members from around the United States. And then it goes in and there's a how to use guide, and it's just laid out exactly right for you. What you should be looking for, possibly saying, talking about, what possible reactions and responses you're looking for. Not to necessarily you have to find those, but that is just something where if you're like, I'm not really confident on this subject or not understanding, it gives you exactly what we're kind of looking for, they're looking for when teaching this lesson. So I'm going to kind of go through a quick overview of the 5 lesson. And remember, the 5 lesson is put into a single lesson, but it takes all 5 of these in a very short way. So I really prefer the 5 lesson just because it goes more in depth. The first one is going to talk about appearance ideals, have an opportunity to analyze internal and external influences. It's aligned to national health standards. It's also aligned to national counseling standards. I know a lot of those are worked in cohesively every once in a while. And I really like this because we have the students identify internal and external influences on them. What affects them both internally and externally. And it's unbelievable what kids come up with. And in some of it surprises you, and it gives you a great opportunity to know more about your students in a different way. There's an activity, a bowl of milk activity, that a lot of people like to do in this lesson. Media comes into play. I know we spend a lot of time on this one just because at the age range that I am, our kids are so invested in this social media and media messages and finding out different impacts of what they're seeing on there. We talk about what does media mean. We talk about media messages throughout the day. There's an evolution video that how images can be manipulated. This is one of the most powerful videos that we've found. And if for some reason you can't get this one to work, let me know, and I have the link pulled aside that I can just send you as well. But my students really analyze this video and really dig deep into it. And then we start to look at, all right, where are possibly other places that they've seen these evolution videos go on. We do analyze some ads that impact the social media. We really talk about specific social media things and that they see. I try to find examples throughout the year of posts that I see from random things and just ask them to analyze it. What do they see? What do you think this person's feeling? Just to try to start getting those clues in there. And then we look at confronting comparisons in this next one. There's another video in this one. What happens when people compare looks? There's a role play. My students love to role play, and I use role play in every unit that we do. And they add a role play in this, and it gives students a really chance to practice that interpersonal communication skills. We have a couple examples, and then I make them make their own. There's extension activity in this one. Lesson 4 gets into banishing the body talk. It talks about what is body talk, but also how to get rid of it. What are different ways that we can have conversations with yourself, with your friends, with your family, with your doctor. My students really like, even at my age, I think they were a little young type of videos, but my kids really like these conversation videos that, people do have conversations with themselves in the mirror, or there are conversations going on in the locker room, different things like that. And like I said, this is both boys and girls. And sometimes in what I do personally is I have them grouped same sex. I also have them grouped mixed sex or gender, sorry. And it just depends on what we're doing and what we're talking about. Sometimes it's individual. There's just so many different ways in this, and there's a goal setting activity. And then the last one is be the change, trying to be an advocate for body confidence. We play a game in here to get some notes to some more people, to let them know and kind of review what we've been talking about. There is an assessment if you want to do it. There's some personal reflection. And then the single lesson is just taking all that and putting it into one single session activity. And so I asked my students at the end of this, what can schools do to help enforce? And this is just some of the things my students said at my level to help enforce and to improve that body confidence and body self-esteem. I'll provide this link in yours, but I can show you. It's something that this is how we used it at my level, and I will provide this link for you if you would like, if you want to reach back out. But I can share this with you. And we took it and made it our own. Took different chunks, different videos, different ideas, and then just put it in our own. It just worked better for our setting, which is totally okay. So just what I want to promote to you is just be a body confident role model. You don't have to have the perfect body image. We try not to use personal stories in there, but it's hard at times. Just try not to talk individually about a student. Try not to share those personal stories, but let students know that it's hard. It's not easy. Even at our age, we've gone through different times where it's just not been easy to not speak negatively about ourselves, to not look in the mirror, to not hold those conversations. But there are ways to overcome those. And it is something that you're going to have to continue to work on, not only today and tomorrow and next week and next month, but probably for the rest of our lives, and just because of those comparisons are out there. But these just gives them different tactics and different situations to go with. If you ever use something, don't be afraid to tweet us out. Okay? Add Dove and then hashtag Dove Self-Esteem. And then incentives for implementing. What's going to happen is by you sending me an email, I'm going to enter you into the drawing. And then there's other ways to add to your chances in this. If you've implemented it, after you get the initial email, it will have you email Sam. And then you can tell her that you've implemented the information, and it adds a few more chances for you to get drawn. And then we draw out winners nationally to go to your state conferences or even a couple national conferences. And this information will be emailed to you afterwards as well. And at this time, I would like it, if you have any further questions, if you want any more information, just to give me an email back. And I've provided these links to you, but I wanted to go back and just put up the Dove Self-Esteem information for you. Right there, that selfesteem.gov.dove.us, and give that information. Again, I truly appreciate you reaching out. I really hope you find this a valuable curriculum. I know we have, even at the 8-9 level. I know some of you are that middle school, that upper elementary, that high school. Use it, talk about it. Kids want to share. They want to let you in their lives, and just as much the boys as the girls. Don't think this is only for females. This is just as much for the males as it is for the females, which is why I'm involved. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this, and let me know if you have any questions.